Hey everybody, welcome back to another Friday with Dannphan. Sorry I am slightly late, thank you for being patient with me. I was wondering, looking over the options that they have here on StreamYard, I was wondering if they had any Christmas music I could put on in the background. Doesn't really look like it. I mean, I guess I could always upload my own music, but whatever. Seems fine for now. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you've been having a good December, good Christmas season and whatnot. It's actually been snowing all day and it looks beautiful. I love the snow. I definitely want to live somewhere snowy in the future. The only issue is, of course, we're supposed to meet up with our friends tomorrow, and then the day after we have a Christmas party to go to. So hopefully it doesn't snow too badly, so that we can actually, have our busy weekend plans. Because, it gets so busy around this time that it's difficult to find a weekend to see your friends. So it'd be a real pain if we had to skip the last weekend before Christmas. My goodness. But yeah, it's been especially a very busy month for me. I've barely been able to make time for Reaper Book 2, which I guess was partially expected. I was a little bit optimistic at first, right? I was like, maybe I'll have more time. Maybe I'll get, everything else done super duper quickly, but it kind of blindsided me with all this stuff that I had to do. I just recently actually finished the Christmas shopping. So, but then again, I made the decision to not order anything online for this year Christmas shopping, which makes the shopping process that much more difficult because you have to go to a lot of different stores to try to find just the right thing. And you think, oh, I'll just go to the mall. The mall has everything. Wrong. The mall has a million clothing stores and then I don't know, a candle store or something. Mall is a good place for, I guess, shopping for clothing. Not so good for a lot of other things. That's my experience, at least. Good for a quick bite to eat and clothing, and then everything else, yikers. And I hate going into JCPenney and Macy's, but those are the only, Kmart-esque stores that are there. Does Kmart still exist? Maybe the word I'm looking for is Walmart-esque. But general big stores that have a bunch of general things that you might need. I hate going into those stores though, because they're organized like garbage on purpose. They do it on purpose. Because they want you to get lost and then find a bunch of things that you like and then buy more than what you anticipated. Yeah, Kmart's no longer a thing. Darn. I grew up with a Kmart. But yeah, I get lost. As an adult, I get lost in JCPenney and Macy's. They have a million mirrors. It's like a fucking fun house. I can't find where the entrance is. Ugh. And an entire floor of Macy's is just dedicated to perfume. Smells awful. I hate it. It is literally, that's the one thing that people love to criticize Macy's about, is the stupid perfume. And it's everywhere. I'm on board with the Macy's perfume hate. It's actually not very good. There, I said it. And then JCPenney is extra funny, because there are things that I can buy in JCPenney. They're hard to find because it's a fun house where it's just like a maze with a million mirrors, but there are things if I shop long enough I can find. And then everything in there is marked up a lot. And it's like, it's complete inflation of price to make you think that the thing that you're looking at, the product, is worth more than it actually is. They mark it up just so that they can mark it back down. So, like, you'll find a necklace that's marked at $70. Ooh, extra pricey necklace. But then it's on sale for $10. It's like, what a deal! It's kind of suspicious how you were able to go from $70 to $10, isn't it? How'd that happen? It's so goofy. Oh my god. I find it very funny, but it is also very shady. I'm not so out of touch that I don't know the business practice that they're trying to pull. They're trying to go after those sales moms that think that if something is at a really good sale, then they need buy it. I know people like this. So, yeah. Thanks for the donation, Desmond. Festive vibes and all that. I hope you get a good start to 2025. Yeah, me too. I wonder if I can I get, like, Christmas-y? That doesn't really look good for a red, doesn't it? Nah, I don't got good reds on this. Maybe I can get a good green. That's something. It's something. Okay, we'll go with green. Green is festive, right? If only I had an actual green screen behind me, I could change the background to whatever I wanted. Although I do like having up, like, all the posters and the figures and stuff, you know? I do generally like what's going on with this background, even if it has super old, super 80s wood paneling. We do our best to hide that with the posters, you know? And there's still kind of some room for more stuff. In the future, perhaps. Obviously, I can take down things and swap out things and stuff like that. I think it's, you know, general good vibes going on in the background of Dannphan videos. I think. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, malls used to be the place where you could find anything. That's been getting less true by the day. These days, the internet more or less fills the mall's former role. It does seem like it. And I'm not an anti-mall person. I used to love going to the mall, even when I couldn't afford anything. I guess I still can't, but I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for the mall. Although, yes, the internet is always going to be more convenient, and a lot of people were relying a lot on Amazon this year and the year before, and so on and so forth before that. But of course, I feel like it's, you know, too much to rely on Amazon, especially since they announced a strike recently. I don't know if that's still going on, or if they just, like, got a raise and then immediately shut up, because, you know, this is prime time for Amazon striking. When it's the Christmas season, you know, you really gotta get those packages out. What the deliverers say goes, even though, you know, not all of them really deserve a raise, but that's beyond the point. A lot of them are very angry when they're handling the packages, but you know how it is. You know how it is. Oh, thank you for the donation, Mark. Merry Christmas, Dannphan. Watch out for Santa or drones or whatever is up in the air. Yeah, that's what they should have said about the drones. They should have said, oh, yeah, that's just Santa's little helpers. He's just making sure you're being nice and not naughty. Then at least it would have been a cute explanation. Instead they were just like, nothing to see here, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Like, what? We don't get any explanation? That seems pretty sus. I don't know. But, you know, it's not for me to say what's going on there. I'm just a comic creator and part-time YouTuber. But yeah, I guess speaking of shipping stuff out, I knew that was gonna happen. We do have the Sonic City Witch comics. Yes, in all of its glory. So, I've been shipping out these. Hopefully, if you ordered a copy, you'll get it soon. Hopefully. You know, who can say? Christmas shipping, everything's gonna be crazy. Some packages are gonna be getting, more priority over others. But, just so you know, we are shipping them out. And I don't have too many more packages to go, I don't think. I think I have like 29 more to ship out, and then we should be done. So, I could get that. I could potentially get that done in a few days, but I'm not going to be shipping out any this weekend. None at all, because it's going to be way too busy of a weekend. We have to go visit friends, and then we gotta go to a Christmas party. Both locations are like 2 hours away from us. So it's out of the question that I'll have time to ship out the books over the weekend. But, there's still Monday. End of list. That's it. There's still Monday. But yeah, so look forward to that. If you were some of the first who had your book shipped out to you, or if there's not a very long distance for the book to go, you can be very happy if you are able to get the book just in time for Christmas. But yeah, man, 4 years, maybe a little bit over 4 years actually, in the making for this comic. It's a long time. It's a very long time. Big too. I don't know if you want a size comparison, but like, yeah, that's manga size versus trade size right there. But yeah. And then afterwards, I'm gonna be putting the full digital version up on the website, as well as, of course, upping the price. So if you wanted to get it, you gotta get it while it's still in pre-order mode, otherwise you're not gonna get the best price. And you're also not gonna get the fun Hazel poster that goes with it. So there's my last minute sales pitch to you. Yeah. I think it was the first comic of yours that I bought. Oh, that's interesting. Well, then it's extra special. Very nostalgic. I also finished some books recently. This one I finished last night. It's not a comic, it's a novel. So I guess it's not as exciting, but this is another kind of an indie, it's an indie fantasy book. It's short, as you can tell. So I'm a little bit disappointed that I didn't get through it quicker. I had an issue of like starting and stopping it for a while. It has a very... how would I describe it? The beginning is very tough. It's a tough start for me because it's so very, very generic. And that made it difficult. I would actually argue that the worst part about this book is the outline. The writing itself is not bad, but the outline itself is bad. It's just not very inspired, you know? Characters are interesting. What they're doing, eh. The pacing, eh. Literally like everything else, you know. But it is fairly based if you're interested in like looking at Facebooks. And I got this alongside another book of his, The Wizard's Stone, and then the, like, I guess, sequel to this. He was not planning on making this into a series with these characters or anything, he just wanted to do a short story. But he did end up making a sequel that's labeled Book 1, The Revenant and the Cult. Fun. And, unfortunately, I can't read it. At least not right now. Not until I'm mentally prepared to read it. Because no joke, like, one of the first pages upon opening The Revenant and the Cult, it is an author's note with big, giant, bold letters that said, "This is not the book I intended to write." And it's like, whoa! Okay! Alright. Calm down. I'm sorry I bought the book. I'm sorry you had to write this so that I could buy it. So sorry about that. You know, it's like, it's kind of passive-aggressive, the author's note, because he's like, I didn't actually want to make this into a series, but here we are. It's like, well, you didn't have to. I would have bought a different book series from you, it's fine. But yeah, it's not a good idea to put that type of author's note at the beginning of your book to be like, I didn't want to write this, but here we are. Because it's kind of like saying, here's my excuse for why this book is bad. Before someone has even read it, you know? It's just taking all the wind out of the sails. You know, I was fairly I was just talking shit on this, but as generic as this was, I was still interested in the main character, maybe seeing more of him, right? But then you get to book 1, where it's supposed to be the actual start of the series, and then he's like, what you are reading was a mistake. Enjoy. Yeah, you got it. Not what I would recommend for authors to do, because now I don't want to read it. Adam kind of, you know, I understand it though. I understand that feeling of a book that you didn't want to get a lot of attention or success, a book that you're not very proud of, but then it gets like more attention than the book that you actually are very proud of. There can be like a little bit of maybe spitefulness when you're an author and that's the case. Regardless, you should be proud of all your books. You should be happy to get anyone to read your book. If you're embarrassed by it, just use a pen name. I don't think he's like embarrassed by it. I think he was just expecting to do a different fantasy series, but apparently the one that got the most attention for him was The Revenant and the Tomb, so he was like, okay, I guess I have to do a fantasy series of that instead of what I actually wanted to do. And maybe there's a little bit of spitefulness that comes with that. That's why I do one-shots with open-ended endings, right? There's always the potential to continue it if I really wanted to. But I don't have to. I like that option of being able to go back to something, but not being obligated to do it. And if I didn't want to do a sequel to something, I just wouldn't do it. I would move on to the next thing. I would try something new. You know, a lot of being an author or being a writer, it has to do with a lot of trying new things, trying different stories and seeing what sticks, what doesn't, what you're happy with, what you're not happy with, etc., etc. He can do both. Yeah. It takes a lot of time, of course, to write books, but it is a possibility. It definitely is. Anyways, what is happening in the news? Well, oh yeah, I mentioned this before, on my Twitter, though, right? Yeah, I don't think I made a video about it. I was thinking about making a video about it at some point, but I don't think I actually did. I think all I did was think about making a video and then not make a video about it. We're officially censoring drama queen. We did it. Apparently, the backlash actually managed to get drama queen censored. It happens, I suppose. So they changed out this part. Of all parts to change in Drama Queen, they changed this exchange that the main character has with a girl and her alien boyfriend. Originally it's, "Excuse my partner, let me apologize for him in his stead." And then she goes, "I hate him just like I hate women who call their boyfriends their partner." Right. And then they change it to something that makes absolutely no sense in the scene where she says, "Excuse my partner in crime." What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? And then the main character goes, "I hate them just like I hate women who use pet names for their boyfriends." So now it's a pet name? So, yeah, a bit weird. A bit weird of a translation change. So apparently what people speculate about why this change was made is because partner is generally a gender-neutral language to refer to your boyfriend or girlfriend. I don't know why we have to use not gendered language. Ungendered? Non-gendered language when it comes to referring to our boyfriends or girlfriends. It doesn't seem like something that really has to be done. It doesn't matter, right? That's what we've been told, right? That it doesn't matter. So what's the point of I don't know. But apparently that was the reason for why they believed it had to be changed, because it was culturally insensitive to English speakers by not accepting the use of the word partner. And yeah, that's about all there is to it. They had Bounding in Comics did this interview with a manga translator to try to get to the nitty-gritty of who would request this change, or if it was I don't know. Basically, what the manga translator says anyway is that the change request could be from Manga Plus, or it could be from the client publishing on the service. Either way, it's troubling that such a demand will be made after publication. It doesn't look good for anyone. And my suggestion would be to reach out to the author through whichever public channels they have, politely making them aware of the change and how it's damaging the story. Can't say it will get the changes reverted, but at least they'd be made aware a part of their audience is not getting what the author wrote. That is important. I'll definitely agree with them on that. Because a lot of Japanese mangaka, they don't know about these translation issues overseas. They don't really care about it. It's not like a priority for them. They're focusing on their own work. They're focusing on how readers in Japan are receiving their work, and how it gets localized or anything about that. It's not really explained to them, and it's not really a priority for them. But I do believe that if they knew that localizers were changing their story and that it was damaging their sales overseas or having a bad effect on their story overall, I'm sure they would be upset. Now, would that make a difference? Would these mistranslations stop happening if the mangaka knew about it and was upset? Do they have a lot of power? It really just depends. It depends on their ranking, mostly. If they're very successful, very popular, then sure, it matters if they're upset about how their work is being translated. But maybe a lot of people don't have that pull, and that's something unfortunate to also consider. But yeah, not a fan of that change. Definitely not. I don't even think the original Japanese was supposed to use it in the sense of, oh, well, it's gender neutral language. I think it's just focusing on the fact that it's neutral language in general. Like, she's being obscure about whether or not this person is actually her this alien is actually her boyfriend, but the main character knows that it's her boyfriend, and so it's like a big eye roll, like, yeah, it's not a big secret that you two are dating. That's at least how I kind of perceived it, because I don't know if gender neutral language is a thing or is a problem in Japan like it is a little bit more of a thing here in English-speaking countries. But I don't know. Thank you for the donation, Patrick. A wonderful Merry Christmas and Happy New Year for you. You deserve all the best, and be careful with aliens. Thank you. Thank you for the warning. Ah, yeah. Must have been an issue in the West Coast. Yeah. My better half and significant others are other gender neutral terms. My guess, it hurt gender divergent people's feelings. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's the thing, though. I don't know if she's supposed to be calling the alien her, if she's supposed to be referring to the alien as her partner in a romantic way. I think the purpose of it is that it's supposed to be very vague, as though she doesn't want to explicitly say that they're dating, but they obviously are dating. I think that's the purpose of the original translation. Although, who the fuck knows with this new translation? It's just very silly. It's very confusing. And it does definitely damage your understanding of what is actually happening in the scene. Yeah, the creator's not going to be happy about it. I would say that. I think partner is more a way of saying that you are in a committed relationship but not married, whereas boyfriend suggests that it is a new relationship or less serious. I never really saw it that way. Yeah. I think, actually, if you introduce someone as your boyfriend of 8 years, that's like a big flex. I don't know. I don't know. I've also heard people refer to their husbands and wives as their partner. So, I mean, like, husband and wife, that's like top tier as far as seriousness, right? Because that's very committed. I guess people use it in different ways, though. Adam, every time he hears the word partner, he's like super confused by what the heck it means. First thing that goes into his head is like business partner, like they're working together. Second thing that goes into his head is cowboy, yee-haw, howdy partner. And then the third thing that goes into his head is, oh, they're dating. They're ambiguously dating. Maybe they're married, maybe they're not serious, maybe they're just fuck buddies, who knows? But something is happening. Yeah. It is very vague. It could mean either of those things. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I'm with Adam. Yeah. I mean, that's usually the case because we are going to these fairs and these conventions and making business connections. So we are usually assuming that when we go over to a table that they are working together. And, you know, not everyone who's working together is in a relationship, of course. But you don't know anymore because the term partner is like just generally used for a lot of these vague, different types of relationships. But yeah. Heterosexual life mate. The younger progressive Japanese are into this gender-neutral language. That's interesting. I wouldn't think that it would leak in over there because it's a very West thing, you know? Always take partner to mean something other than heterosexual boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife, even though those terms could be used by any sexuality. True. True. Literally, the only term that, the only type of people that would not want you to use any of those terms are non-binary people. That's it. End of list. End of list. Everybody else would be totally fine with those terms. It's like so really, by that logic, the only people who should use the vague term partner should be non-binary people. Why do the rest of us have to use that term? I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me. I've never used it, so yeah. We still use the old classic boyfriend-girlfriend terms ourselves. Maybe we're just a bunch of big oldies. Hey Trent. Hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, buddy. Good to hear. I feel like they had to censor something just to say they did. You might be onto something there. Maybe because of the backlash, they felt like they had to take some kind of action, even if it was something like minor and didn't really matter, like the whole partner thing. That's not too far-fetched. Just to say that they did something, just to be like, look, we're on your side, guys, you know? Fucking semantics. Yeah, right. They're roommates. It saves them money. It's a one-bedroom, so they have to sleep in the same bed. Odd. Yeah, it's funny the different studies that show that when you're just like roommating with someone, it can very, very easily turn sexual. Yeah, it is actually a thing. I'm hoping Japan will ignore the West when they create their entertainment. It's best that way. I agree with you there. I think one of the biggest advantages that Japan has had over America and a lot of these other countries, English-speaking countries especially, is the fact that Japan prioritizes independent stories, especially with their manga industry. It's part of the reason why the manga industry has been doing so much better than, you know, say Marvel and DC have been doing. They have a really good model, first of all. Their publishing model prioritizes the customer's opinion over all else. They get to decide, basically, what series continues and what series basically get axed. You know, they don't exactly pull the plug themselves, but if a series ranks too low, then it's basically decided that it's not good enough to continue. And because of that, there's actually quite a bit of quality control in the manga industry. And furthermore, you know, customers, they feel like they have this really solid trust with the publishers because they feel like their opinions really do matter on what series that they like, and making sure that the series that they do like continue. We don't have that trust over here, that's for sure. That trust has been very badly severed. We got a lot of damage to pick up after. And it's unfortunate. I don't want it to be that way. Certainly not. I'd like to have at least a similar business model to what the manga industry has had for a very long time, where first and foremost, customers' opinion matters the most. And of course, that we're prioritizing independent stories rather than constantly relying on IP and already established stuff, you know? Just constantly doing the recycling thing. Japan is also, you know, sometimes guilty of doing some recycling and rebooting and all that madness, but they're not nearly as guilty of it as fucking America is. It's too much over here. It's too much and nobody likes it. But they buy it. They buy into it because there's nothing else. That's really what it is. It's just that there's nothing else. Because we have a real big monopoly problem here, especially in entertainment. And we can't find good alternatives as easy as you could find good alternatives in the manga industry. In the manga industry, they have a book for every type of person. Every type. So many different authors, so many different series, and it's all independent. It's not relying on a shared universe or anything like that. You know, sometimes maybe they'll commission a series to be made about some game or some movie or something, but that's about as far as it goes. It's just sometimes that happens. The majority of what it is independent stories by people who were just inspired one day and just wanted to make a story. That's what it should be, you know? It's just so obvious. But unfortunately, America has a real issue of not valuing art very much. And not really valuing new ideas. We've fallen back on recycle, repeat, and we hardly ever rinse, really, but thanks for the 5, Mark. Dannphan Entertainment. Yes, we gotta get it started. That's how we gotta bring it back here in America. What do you mean the publishers sell to the stores and then only talk about the comics sold to the stores, not the ones being read? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a very American model. For sure. Manga, they actually have stuff published in a magazine. People vote in the magazine, like the subscribers to the magazine. Vote which one that they enjoy more. The closest thing we have to that is the, what do they call it? The diamond previews, but those are basically only sold to stores. And it has nothing to do with like what story you enjoy most. It's just like what you think is going to sell most that they're ordering from, you know? At the very least, comics in the West can keep a consistent timeline with their comics. At the very least, yeah. You know, publishing consistently when you're like a one-man indie team, that's difficult. That's another thing that I envy about manga, is that they have a lot of assistants on their side that they can have on board. Oh man, I can just imagine how much quicker drawing comics would go if I could just have an assistant do all my backgrounds for me. That would be sick. I'm still like a fresh learner when it comes to doing backgrounds. I'm getting a little bit better, bit by bit. I need a little bit more practice, but we're getting there, guys. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make it work. Yeah. Many Western authors see their audience as uneducated morons who are lucky just to witness their genius. Yeah, I mean, it certainly depends on the person, of course. I think the people who are promoted the most and the people who are what's the phrase that they use? Terminally online. That's it. Those people have a lot more self-importance because they get caught up in perhaps interacting a little bit too much with the internet, you know? And they take in bad advice. They surround themselves with maybe not the best influences. It happens. I get it. It can happen even outside of the internet, of course. It doesn't have to only happen online, but it probably happens more often online, if we're being real here. And yeah, a lot of those people are the loudest. They're so loud that they're drowning out all of the other indie creators who just want to get better. At the end of the day, they just want to get better. They just want to get noticed. They just want to make sales. And it's unfortunate too because it's so difficult online. It didn't always used to be this way, but it's now more than ever. It's so much more difficult to get noticed on the internet because of these algorithms and how content is pushed. You can't like look for content anymore. That's essentially been that's gone. It's essentially gone on all platforms. The ability to actually actively search for content and look through pages and pages until you find the content that you're looking for, it's gone. You have to rely very heavily on this algorithm, this faux search system. You see it on YouTube where you search for something and what comes up? Like 3 videos that are sort of related to what you searched, and then a bunch of recommended videos that have absolutely nothing to do with what you searched. And then they convince you, well, it's your fault because you weren't specific enough in the search. But once upon a time, it would just show you any video that had the keywords that you searched for in it. They don't do that anymore. And it's the same thing with Google. Google will not show you all the search results anymore. It will cap you at a certain point. And even more so, it'll show you a bunch of ads. It prioritizes advertising certain websites and certain products to you, as opposed to actually giving you the content that you're looking for. Because money! I understand it, but it is annoying. And it has very negatively changed how we can find things online these days. It's also part of the reason why so many people find themselves in these like internet bubbles where they just see the same stuff over and over and over again. Just always the same kind of stuff. And then, you know, one day when they're introduced to something actually new, they find out it wasn't even new. It was like been around for like however many years, and they've just been completely isolated from it because the algorithm just kept on showing them the same stuff over and over again. There's so many manga series out there that I'm so surprised to hear about. And I was like, why? I've like searched for this exact kind of series. Why have I never been able to find it? And the very simple answer is because you can't search for anything online anymore. You just can't. We're gonna go back to the old days where you have to hear about things through word of mouth. We really are. I think we probably are already halfway there. It's more difficult to do your own research than ever. It really is. Oh, thank you. Merry Christmas. I do like the Christmas vibes. Oh yeah, don't forget about the comic shops getting worked over by the publishers. You can have, oh, so many orders of what sells, but only after you buy double of Kamala Khan or Captain Marvel, of course. Because they gotta make it seem like a series that they spent a lot of money on sell a lot more than they actually do. Cover their own asses, etc. But yeah, I think it should be a nice Christmas anyways. Hoping for a white one, but hopefully like after we've done all our driving, as soon as we don't need to do any driving anymore, I hope we get a nice snowstorm. That's my Christmas wish. Get a nice snowstorm, but only after we've done all our driving. There we go. Then it's justified. Yeah. But so tomorrow should be fun. Hanging out with friends. We're gonna watch Beyond Tomorrow, or at least that's the plan. I'm sure they also have like a few anime series that they want to show us. It would be fun to see some like Christmas OVAs or something. I don't know. They're always showing us anime that I've never heard of before, but like immediately love. This old like 90s anime especially. That's some good stuff. There's some good stuff hidden away there. There's some super cringe stuff as well, but you know, you sift through the garbage and find the good gems in there. Tokyo Godfather's best Christmas movie. I haven't seen it, honestly. I was worried that it would be like too much of a bummer. Because like whenever somebody is like, oh, this is such a good movie, it made me cry, I'm like, well, I don't want to cry right now though. Those better be happy tears, because I don't want to walk away from a movie feeling bad. I got stuff to do. I can't be depressed today. I gotta get these orders out. You know what I mean? It's basically a dark comedy. That sounds a little bit sad to me, yeah. Tokyo Godfathers is worth a watch. Well, I hear it has very great reviews, but I do like wholesome Christmas movies. I gotta, you know, it's gotta be very, very wholesome for me. Yeah, Beyond Tomorrow is kind of a Christmas movie. It's a Christmas movie with an asterisk, right? Because it starts during Christmas. But then the rest of the movie is not really Christmas. Or actually, it might end vaguely during Christmas. It might end. I don't know. Because, like, a lot of time passes. Multiple years pass, and then eventually, you know, the ending happens. Not to spoil anything, but, you know. It's a very sweet movie. And it has like a pretty wholesome, you know, nice happy ending. Hence why I like it, right? Already watched Miracle on 34th Street. Classic movie. It's funny that like the Macy's store is like the main holiday store that they're talking about there. They don't even mention perfume. I guess it really was the good old days where we didn't have to worry about the Macy's perfume. Instead, they're selling fucking dishwashers and toys or whatever. The good old days. Good old Macy's. Selling their houses for $10,000. Once upon a time. No, but yeah, that is a very good classic. And then there's also... what was another? We watched Christmas in Connecticut also, which is like fine. It's a fairly funny movie. It's not like my top 10 Christmas movies, probably. It's like fine. And oh yes, Shop Around the Corner. Love that movie. Another very wholesome Christmas movie. And honestly, one of the best examples that I can give anyone for a good, solid slice of life film. Like, if you need to be inspired to write any story that's slice of life, highly would recommend The Shop Around the Corner as being your reference material. And for the love of God, do not think, even for a moment, oh, I'll just watch the reboot. Don't watch the reboot. You get in that time machine, travel back in time, you watch the black and white version of The Shop Around the Corner. No ifs, ands, and buts. If you watch the reboot with Tom Hanks, you're dead to me. Because it's completely different. It's just a different movie. It's not the same story. It's not. It's not even close. There's like one element of the story that's kind of similar, and then that's it. Everything else is just bastardization of what the original movie was. Don't like it. No. But yes, the Shop Around the Corner, genuinely a very good slice of life film, and a good Christmas film. It doesn't really have so much to do with the spirit of Christmas necessarily, but it takes place during Christmas, and it ends on Christmas Day. So, there you go. That's good enough for me. Eight Crazy Nights, my favorite anime movie. Is that another Christmas one? Is that... Hang on. If I see it, I might recognize it. Oh, fucking... The Adam Sandler. My god, I've never seen it. I've only ever seen images from the movie itself, but I've never actually seen the movie. It looks silly enough that I might even enjoy, like, just having it on the background. Not like for serious watching, but, you know, like, ironic watching. Oh, jeez. Yeah, look it up. Technically a Hanukkah movie. Well, yeah, that makes sense for Adam Sandler. Some plans. Off the top of my head, the Suko Christmas Special, Itsudate My Santa, one of the Ranma 1/2 OVAs, an episode of Dragon Maid. No, there's a lot of anime. There's a lot. There's a huge portion of anime. I might even be as bold to say that every anime might have a Christmas special. Oh, like, almost everyone. You know, chances are, if you're thinking of an anime, it might have a Christmas OVA somewhere, and you just might not know about it. Because most of them do. It's, for one, it's like kind of a romantic time of year, and Japan does celebrate Christmas. Don't you know? It's just one of those cultural things that we just so happen to share with them, like baseball. But yeah, they do celebrate Christmas, and it tends to be romantic theming, especially with a lot of anime, a lot of Christmas dates, especially in anime. Actually, yeah, I think the Angel Next Door, other side, Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. I think they also, yeah, they have a Christmas episode, and it's good. It's a much more, you know, simple, down-to-earth kind of Christmas episode, but that's kind of what I like about the show in general, is that it feels like a kind of realistic slice of life anime without being complete dogshit boring. It has a good balance, you know, of not being absurd, but also not being boring. But you know, Danicus Fanicus. Yeah. There's this other Shauna. I think that was the one. Shauna has like a very pivotal scene or ending to one of their seasons that takes place during Christmas. And then the next season just gets a little bit insane afterwards. Oh. But yeah, that's another, there's another example of a Christmas special. You just, you just like ignore the fact that how the next season begins, and then you're like, yay, Christmas. Battle Angel has a Christmas side story. Granted, it's a prequel, more like a year one of her dad, Doc. Aw, that's cute though. I like that. That's cute. Okay, I'm into it. I haven't seen it, but I should definitely be looking into that. I reviewed a Christmas manga, which it takes the plot of the Santa Claus and then it applies it to a teenage girl. She doesn't turn into an old man, so don't worry. She just becomes a Santa. And also there's a hot boy reindeer. Because of course there is. No, you can look up that review. It's not much of a review. It's more so just me stating what happens in awe of what happens. But it's called Sweet Rain. Like rain as in like reindeer. Not like rain as in fallen rain or anything. But no, that is something that exists. I wonder if there's more Christmas manga out there like that feature like girls turning into Santa Claus or something. That seems like a genre that should kind of exist, because there's a lot of cutesy anime girls who like get dressed up in the Christmas Santa Claus like wear, right? So I could imagine people taking that and then like creating a story out of it to be like, oh, she actually is Santa. She's just a Santa or something. Not the Santa or whatever. There's a Christmas manga that doesn't have male skimpy reindeer and female Santa bikinis. I didn't say that. But yeah. It sounds like webtoon territory. It is very similar to a webtoon story. Can't lie. It's very absurd. I wish you the best, Dannphan. I'd like to pick up your book sometime soon. I have to go, but Merry Christmas. Alright, well, Merry Christmas to you, too. We're probably going to be ending the stream right about now as well. Oh yeah, Itsutate My Santa has that concept, sort of. Though I remember it not being good. Well, it is what it is, huh? It's one of those concepts that I imagine would be very difficult to pull off. But entertaining nonetheless, right? Oh man. But yeah, thank you for joining me on another fantastic Friday with Dannphan. Just to recap, Sonic City Witch books are going out. Can't promise that they'll arrive in time for Christmas because of shipping, chaos going down out there. But with luck, it could. Think about it. And I guess I'll see you next Friday after Christmas. That might be the last stream of the year because I am planning on going on a break from YouTube. I know, so sad. It's always so sad when Dannphan takes a break from YouTube. But don't worry, when I do return to YouTube again, I will have more news to share with you, and I will probably be done the first draft of Reaper Book 2. Maybe I'll even have some covers and a new logo to show you guys. It'll be fun. Maybe we'll do some streams, doing some artwork. I have high hopes. Let's go 2025, huh? So everyone, go out there, have a very merry, very wonderful Christmas. I'll see you next time here on the Dannphan channel. Good night, everybody.